Welcome everybody. It's Tuesday night. I'm MC Toon, and tonight is scheduled to be a debate, but I am quite confident that my debate partner will not show. So if that changes whether or not you're here, then well, that changes whether or not you're here. But I will be going over what he's claimed and his accusations that I'm scared to debate him. Now, I have sent him the Zoom link. He has not yet read the Zoom link. He knew this was happening. I told him I was going to do it now. A couple days ago, when he demanded that I debate him and accused me of being scared to debate him, I said, fine, let's do it today. Rather than do it and accept it, he reiterated that he thinks I'm scared. A rather strange thing. So I am going to... While now he has read, I just noticed he's read the message. Oh, nope, he's not. He said, poor is too nice. It's actually quite pathetic. Well, his accusations of me being scared to debate him will now be put up to scrutiny. He has the link. He has received the link. He has responded. It seems he is rejecting the invitation to debate as he demanded that I accept a debate challenge. So how is let me put up a few things here. I'll just there we go. He is he's rather scared. So here it is. Frederic Michael is his name. He said, actually, you're the one who refuses to debate me. Strange. I'm sitting here waiting for you to join. You've been running for months. Seems stupid. Greed is another of your faults. I said, well, let's do it Tuesday, March 28th. That's right now. 6 p.m. Central Time. That's right now. And then I said, you will run. And guess what he has done? So every time he says... on Facebook, he trolls on Facebook. Every time he says that I'm scared to debate him, this video can now be posted showing that it is he who is scared to face me. Burt Rickles, did I convey the proper time zone issue? Of course. Yeah, I said Central Time. And yes, I understand Flerfs have a hard time understanding time zones. But that is the challenge they face. So anyway, I have a few more. I'll just go through a few more of his. Here he says to Graham Price is talking with him. Graham says, what day are you going to go on MC Toon's channel to debate him? And then Frederic Michael says, when you get him to grow a pair. A pair is obviously in my possession, but not yours. Here's a little bit longer one. He says, show your Muppets you have the balls to face me, spineless coward. Ooh, spine intact. I said, sure, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. I'll send a Zoom link. Zoom link has been sent. Has been read. Has been rejected. Clearly, evidence points to who is scared. Then he goes, this is important. He says, did you agree to a 50-50 contract? So he thinks that he needs to get 50% of any of the revenue I get from this. An interesting claim. Why would you expect that? I don't know why he thinks he should get that. Glenn Kimberly says, thank you for tagging me. You didn't disappoint. It was a pleasure to see you get completely owned again. I look forward to seeing you get the same verses tune. I really hope you will actually turn up. Sorry to disappoint, but we both know you'll find some excuse not to, because that's how you operate, isn't it? So he wanted a 50-50 contract. I offered even better. I said, let's have a 100-100 contract. I get 100% of the revenue on my channel. You get 100% of the revenue on your channel. And he's like, I get 50% of everything I produce. Well, you are not producing this video, so 0% is what you should get. Let's make it clear. Let's just make it clear here. I've been here every Tuesday night. doing videos every week. When I was in school studying calculus, you were watching Power Rangers. When I was in school studying differential equations, you were watching Teletubbies. When I was learning the fundamentals of surveying by reading surveying books and talking with actual surveying professors, you were watching My Little Pony. So I've been here. I built my channel myself. This is my channel. If you think you should get money for it, by all means, stream it on your channel that you did the same thing to, that you built up, that you were here every week for. Don't have it? Not my fault. That's your fault. But I am generous in this, that you can stream it on your channel. And here's the generosity. If you don't want to stream it on your channel, you don't have the capability, you may take the video, and I've made it clear in our messages, take the video that goes onto my channel and upload it to your channel. I will allow the copyright to transfer to you for that particular usage. You refused. We actually had a conversation, and I recorded it, and where you're demanding that I share this with you. No, I won't. I will not pay people to be stupid, and that's what you are. So a few more. A few more coming here from him. Wow, you do like this as a comment to one of my posts on Facebook. While you like to bottom feed while evading debates with those who you know will ridicule you, probably your smartest move. I'm sitting here waiting. The Zoom link has been sent. You have refused to accept it. What can anybody say to that, other than we can see who's scared? This is a little bigger one. I'll make it a longer one. There's the responses then to it. We've got who is he debating a debate with, and Esteban says, who is that FE mastermind? And Frederic Lotan says, I wouldn't know. The flat earth is a psyop and Toon is a Flerf. Strange that you would make that accusation. But then he says, me, among others. I am not avoiding debating you, Lotan, Frederic Michael. You are evading debating me. Anyway, what else is there to say? Graham Price says it's a blatant lie. Michael Toon, this guy says he won't, says you won't face him, says claiming that I won't face him. He'll be in touch. You will run away, or if you do have the balls to turn up, you'll be utterly humiliated. Seems he could read the future. If anyone wants me in any project, I get half of everything. The ego, the massive ego that he has. This is good. My challenges to you are numerous on the web. Everyone sees claiming I'm a coward. A strange thing. I got three more here. Frederic Michael is responding to Esteban Ilabaca. I won't read that one, but go ahead on your own there. Frederic says, Michael hasn't accepted, and you've used up all the time you're worth. Bye-bye. Well, I have accepted. This is, again, says the same thing. And then it says the challenge stands. Even when you don't, you're a giggling schoolgirl surrounded by Muppets. No wonder you just averaged 7,000 views of it. Well, Frederic Michael averages 0,000 views of it. So I don't know what you're comparing to. I do realize that the global market for live flat earth debates has a limited reach. That's it. Not something I don't really care to make the audience bigger for it. I would prefer for flat earthers like you to just go away. All of you. I would completely not be sad if you all went away and I couldn't debunk flat earthers tomorrow. It's not my goal to debate to debunk them tomorrow. My goal is that they don't exist tomorrow, you see. And yes, I am a giggling schoolgirl. What else is there to do but laugh at Flat Earth? It's ridiculous. The idea of it is incredibly, incredibly funny. Zero evidence from any of you. I leaned over, says he's accepted, looks like you're running. Quotes my message there, and then says again, thank you for demonstrating you're running away from Michael Toon's acceptance of your debate. Thank you for pointing that out to him, Eileen. Always appreciate Eileen's support. And then here we go. Oh, this is the one, the longer one. I think I already showed that. So there it is. There it is. But now, what can I say? Who's surprised? If anybody knows him on Facebook, there's no surprise there. Anyway, I do have a likeness of Lotan over there on the side, to keep us company while we do a little bit of this here. I have a few more things from him that I will be covering, including his claims that he's not a flat earther. Is that the case? Does he actually not think that the earth is flat? Well, that shall be something we explore here in due time. And by the way, the Zoom link is still open and has still not been clicked on by the ever so brave Michael Frederic. 3 News 1 says, MC Toon for mayor of Toontown. Thank you for that. Kentucky Jerk says, MC Toon, you, FTFE, and me should start a Studs Against Flerfs. We'll drive the ladies crazier than Magic Mike did. I've got enough. I've got the one I need. That's all I need. Don't need any more. PhD Tony says, I demand that you give me 50% of the super chat. Wait, maybe he initially started it as a $20 super chat and just reduced it to 10. I don't know, but thank you for that, Tony. Connell Silverfur says, are we going to touch on Frederic Michael's blatant anti-Semitism? It seems as if so many Flerfs are just overall terrible people. Indeed they are. And apparently he used to have a YouTube channel and it has since been deleted. I don't know why it was deleted, but in the history of YouTube, no Flat Earth channel has been deleted for Flat Earth content by YouTube. YouTube has deleted all of the channels that also promote Flat Earth for other things, not for Flat Earth. All of them whining and crying about Flat Earth getting their channels deleted are just lying. It's typically because of something like anti-Semitism or making false claims about the disease that's been going around lately, or the treatment for it, or making false claims about any number of other things that YouTube says, no, we don't want that on our platform. I will say, YouTube has a terrible history of deleting things that they shouldn't. But typically, the ones that the Flat Earth channels that have gotten deleted, and pretty bad. And I don't think that necessarily YouTube made a mistake on those. So there are cases where YouTube has made some blatant mistakes, though. I will absolutely say that. But yes, he is an anti-Semite. If you look at his Facebook page, his wall, you will see, no doubt, what I'm talking about. No doubt. And my guess as to what got his channel removed was probably that. Alyssum says, give me 50% of your witty jokes. What witty jokes? What are you talking about? Siggy Sigwald has been a member for 1 month, said, would you do video tutorials about coding if Flerfs decided to finally give up their nonsense tomorrow? I have watched a few videos on coding, and I don't know. Some of those guys are really good, and I don't know if I could stand up to them. They're really good. And I don't know, I mean, I successfully block an awful lot of spam in the code that I write, And you have seen some of my coding. I've written some Python code for calculating things. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Typically, they don't have loops or even conditional logic if statements and things like that. It's meant to just be a top-down, here's how to do the calculations for something. But at least you see how I like to name my variables. And I do prefer Allman style indenting and open and close parentheses if that's a thing for you. I do not like the kerning and Ritchie style. Greenbull says Flerfs think that Central Time is the time in the middle of a clock. Frederic Michael sounds like he could be related to Joshua Michael. Haha, Titicaca. Thank you for that, Cretin Ball. Many Karen says Giggling Squirrel Girl tune. Never watch. Titicaca. I can't stop laughing at that. Alyssum says, don't insult the Simpsons pig like that. That's not the Simpsons pig. That's Cletus's pig. And apparently, she's more precious to him than Brandine is. Cletus Spuckler on The Simpsons is fantastic. Justin Frank says, figure out how many debates you've had and had a portion of revenue he gets is the inverse of the number of debates divided by 2. Hold on a second. I got to do that math here. Figure out the number of debates I've had. 300. Probably less. Let's say 200. And the portion of revenue he gets is the inverse of the number of debates. So 1 over 200 divided by 2. You see, to my knowledge, he's not been in any debates. So I don't know what but you'll see he claims to have been in debates. I have some screenshots of that. Pajo Lee says, never use these. Thank you for all the entertainment. Well, you're welcome. I think that's the member super chat that Pajo just used there. Stringer News 1 says Hitler. Ooh, I'm not going to say that. Oh, okay. Got to be careful. Those first 2 words I said, and then a bad guy for me to poop on. Put those together. I'll leave that there. Oh dear, Siggy. Siggy gifted 50 memberships again. Thank you so much for that, Siggy. You are too kind. Way too kind. That means I'm gonna have to update my my scroll along the bottom here. Is that? Oh, it's not on the screen right now, but yeah, here I'll put it on the bottom. There, that one, that scroll. I'll have to update it again. I'm glad to do it. Glad to do it. Monkey Cat Pat Pat says I demand $1 back for this. Glenn Riley says, funny how the flat earthers claim you're running away from a debate while running from a debate. Exactly. I don't, how does he think that I'm running from a debate when I'm just sitting here waiting for him to show up? It's a strange thing. So I have a few more from him. Now, is he a flat earther? Now, he claims adamantly that he is not a flat earther, and probably my guess is that what he is meaning by that is like Bev who's never tried thinking, claims that yes, there is topography. Nobody actually thinks that when a flat earther says that the earth is flat, claims that we think that anybody anywhere actually thinks that they mean that there's no such thing as topography. Now, maybe Lotan is claiming, maybe he thinks the earth is a cube or a triangle, or maybe he thinks it's significantly larger than, but it's still a sphere, like it's a sphere with a radius of millions of miles or something like that. But and which some different flat earthers have proposed. But in general, this is still what the flat earthers claim is what he says. So I have a few things that I'm going to show you that I found from Lotan. Now Frederic Michael is Lotan on Quora. So there he is. Somebody asked, what was the shape of the earth taught in the curriculum 100 years ago? Was it believed to be flat or spherical? And then he lies. He says 100 years ago, schools were teaching that the earth is flat. That's not true. It's not true at all. Now, while you may find a smattering of schools or teachers that did that, certainly it's possible in Zion, Illinois, where Wilbur Voliva, is it Wilbur? I think it's Wilbur. Voliva was basically the dictator of the town. Yeah, could be there. It was mandatory, but they eventually got tired of him and gave him the boot. Other than that, no, the Earth was taught to be a globe for as far back as we have history for schools. Basically, there's here, I'll show it again. I mean, I've showed this before. The book right here, Inventing the Flat Earth, Columbus and Modern Historians, by Jeffrey Burton Russell, goes over the history. He spends a whole chapter tracking back through history on the written documentation of people understanding the Earth to be a globe. And I have a partial list on my website at mc2.net. I think, I don't know the URL offhand, maybe search for history. So, all right. So anyway, yes, people knew the Earth was a globe outside of a few people. So the question, is the Earth flat, addressed to aviation pilot E. Well, Lotan is not an aviation pilot and still chose to answer it. And he says, I strongly urge the reader to speak directly to pilots. Ask them which flight adjustments they make to compensate for the curvature of the Earth. The answer to that is they begin by charting the route to be using the globe. No route can be charted without using the globe, because all flight charts are globe projections. Typically, they're Lambert conformal conic projections. It's important, if you're doing a long flight, that you get the correct amount of fuel in the plane, which means you need to know how far it is between where you are and where you're going to land. If you don't know that, then how can you know how much fuel to put in the plane? You have to know. So yes, Lotan, that's the first thing they do. Now, Lotan, being ignorant of how physics works, like basically all flat earthers that talk about flight, doesn't understand that an airplane maintains in its, as PhD Tony said, its isobar. And Siggy gifted another set of... Dude, you're so nice. Gifted another set of memberships. Thank you for that. And I see people are grabbing them left and right now. Awesome. Just going by. Hold on. Let me get it up. Look at these. Look at these go through. Siggy, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Anyway, because he's scientifically illiterate, he doesn't understand that planes do not need to compensate for the curve of the Earth, because it's built into how planes fly. They automatically change their pitch based on the direction of gravity, because gravity changed when you move forward. When you're in a different location, the vector of gravity is different. So, all right. Well, anyway, it does. This is building the case that he thinks the Earth is flat. So would he make this claim here if he did not think the Earth was flat? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And I propose you. Anyway, my conclusion is that yes, he thinks the Earth is flat. Here it is. When did flat Earth theory begin? Somebody asks, and Lotan answers, it was always flat Earth until heliocentrism was introduced. So, Lotan, how can you say that you don't think that the Earth is flat when you wrote this on January 1st of this year? Just 4 months ago, almost. You said these exact words here. Anyway, clear, Lotan, that you think the Earth is flat. Somebody asked, why do flat earthers believe is the reason for the government hides the fact that the Earth is flat? And he says it is to hide the true nature of our world, which he, of course, thinks is flat by that answer. Somebody says, is there a detailed, extensive formal reference book written where flat earthers can make claims about flat earth? He says there are many references, many with the same examples and explanations. It's a little bit of a passing admission. Where can I find genuine, unbiased research on flat earth theory? He says, you do some tests yourself. You will get immediate results. I, in fact, did as well. Watch a boat go below the horizon and pick it up again with binoculars. In fact, that does not actually work. I tested it myself. Yes, Alyssum. Investigative journalist is absolutely satirical. Speak to pilots and engineers. I have. None of them, save for one or two small, short. Actually, I can only name one pilot that actually thinks the Earth is flat, and he does not do charting. He cannot leave his region. He was unaware that the map that he uses is a globe projection. He's just a single engine pilot. That's it. So not a very bright guy, and hasn't been very high. So find a shore 3 miles away, and if you see the water touch the land, you know the said curve is false. Well, that's not true at all. If you're high enough, you'll see it. If refraction is strong, you'll see it. That doesn't change anything. You need to actually do the right science again. All right. Is this enough? Is this, he says, talk about planets. He says, those aren't planets. They are cymatic vibrations. Oh my gosh. Look with a real telescope. I did. And I used the flat earth camera of choice, the P1000. And the planets are planets. You just got to learn how to focus. All right. This is it. This is the one I was waiting for. Are flat earthers just having fun with people, or are they simply ignorant? And Lotan, Frederic Michael, answers, having witnessed and participated in hundreds of debates on the subject, it is my contention that most of the advocates of the heliocentric model are people who base their knowledge on belief in hearsay or intentional deceivers, as science militates against the globe model. Indeed, it does not. Gravity is empirically confirmed and would collapse any flat Earth or any non-spherical shaped Earth into a spherical shape. But having witnessed and participated in hundreds of debates on the topic. Now, if you're putting them together with the and, so if you've witnessed hundreds and participated in 0, then I suppose you could say you've witnessed and participated in hundreds. But it's absolutely certain that you are implying that you've participated in hundreds of debates. I could not find one single debate that you have participated in, Lotan. Oh, do you mean just typing them out on Quora or Facebook? Sorry, that's not actually a debate. So, BC Tony says, I think you're being a bit harsh on our pilot friend. He was seriously injured and suffered neurological and physiological damage. True. I'm not trying to be, I do like him. Quinn? Is that his name? I don't want to get it wrong. Or Quentin? Oh. Anyway, I try to be fair to him. And yeah, is the he had some injuries, and that's, and I'm glad that he's able to do what he's able to do. Despite those injuries, and some generous people have helped because he's a paraplegic. His legs don't work. They have enabled him. They've given him some equipment so that he can fly, even without the use of his legs. So I'm very glad that he can do that. Don't teach people that the Earth is flat, though. That's not the case. But I do want to be sure that you understand. I don't know. What was there some sort of a trauma that caused him to come to flat Earth? I don't know. So, all right. Well, there's enough. No, I'm sorry. There's one more before I rest my case on whether or not Lotan is a flat earther. And here it is. This is on his Facebook page. He posted it just 2 days ago. I took this screenshot today. Says the real reason they want TikTok banned is because there's 2 billion views on Flat Earth on TikTok. Well, a good chunk of those views are mine, because when I post on TikTok, I always add hashtag Flat Earth. In fact, all of us debunkers on TikTok tend to do that as well. But that's not why they're trying to ban TikTok. There's definitely geopolitical reasons for it. So Lotan is saying he didn't get a Zoom link? Well, that's easy to falsify. All right, well, here, I'll take a screenshot right there. Why would he make such a ridiculous claim? Maybe he didn't. I don't know if he did or did not, but I will definitely show that he received a Zoom link right now. Now, just to be clear, every time he claims that he doesn't think the Earth is flat, he is clearly lying, as we see right up here. He definitely thinks the Earth is flat. There's my case. You decide. All right, here we go. Oh, hold on a second. I'm live right now. What's up? My daughter's here. What's up?
Never mind.
Never mind. She forgot. I don't usually start this early. Well, here we go. Here is the Zoom link sent. Of course, now anybody can join if they were to just type that in manually. So there it is. Zoom link has been sent. If he is incapable of clicking on the link that I sent, that's on him, not on me. I have shown that the link has been indeed sent. Don't, in Borg Imperia says send him another. Don't need to. It's right there. And if I send another Zoom link, it'll be the same one. There's only one Zoom link for this call. So, all right, I got a few more super chats to read here. And will these super chats make him a bit salty? They might, because let me make it clear, Lotan, if one person views this video after I record it, I'm making money on you. So let the saltiness abound. Let's see here. All right. We got Lord Luminous Pooh says, I'll never forget the last time my grandpa said to me, "Are you still holding the ladder?" Oh my gosh. That's a bit dark. I like it. Ziggy Sigwald says, forcing you to change that scroll with the names is the only reason I do it, but can't lie to you. It's a rain percentage. Rain percentage. Was that mistyped? Well, thank you anyway, Siggy. I'm glad to change the scroll. Count Silverfur says, is Lotan a Poe or a grifter? Well, he doesn't, to my knowledge, he's not earning any money from it. He pushes Flat Earth while claiming not to be a Flerf, avoids questions, and demands to be paid for debates. Yeah, but he's not gotten paid for debates. So he's not a very good grifter. I mean, maybe he's just sucks at it. Could be. Svein Lirond. When there's a circle above the A, what does that do to the pronunciation? I'm sorry, I don't know. Svein, I think I got right, because it sounds maybe Germanic, and in Germanic languages, if there's two vowels, the second one typically gets long, and the first one is typically silent. So EI, Svein. But Larand or Larand, I don't know what that O is above, that circle is above there. But thank you. New member at Newton. Sheeples Phoenix says, JB in the chat is ready to debate you now. I am here, after Lotan ran like a fill in the blank. JB in the chat? JB, where are you? JB, let me roll back here. I'm not seeing any recent stuff from JB. JB. I don't know who JB is. I don't see any. But JB, send me an email, mctoon@mctoon.net. I do have another one scheduled in an hour and a half. So that's Siggy. Siggy, send me an email. Send me an email, Siggy. I will send a link to you. My email address, mctoon@mctoon.net. Or you can type it in off of the screen that was just on a minute ago. So nice thing about Zoom is that there is an option to limit people coming in. So if anybody's gonna try to come in uninvited, it won't work. But Siggy, send me an email. Got my email client up so I can see it. But I'll send you that link if you want. All right. Ed says, who's been a member for 20 months, says, but Witsit debunked relativity. Earth must be flat. He did not. Witsit read parts of this book. He cherry picked parts of this book, which is the mass market version of how he came to develop relativity. This is not relativity. He published that in several papers the year before, which Witsit did not reference. But PG Tony says again, I'm willing to pay you to not have a Flerf on. For heaven's sake, show some mercy. Well, so far I got nothing from JB, so you might be in luck. Janusz says, Matthew Pip in the chat wants to debate you. Let's debate. Your model requires that the sun goes straight through the sky at the equator on the equinox. There is no evidence you lose. Of course there is. Matthew Pip. You silly kid. I see your chat now, JB. All right. Is this? There it is. There is from Siggy. All right. Siggy beat you to it. Whatever Flerf is thinking you want to come in. But I have an open invitation on Tuesdays. Next Tuesday at 8 p.m. is booked, but 6 and 10 are not. Central Time, of course. All right, link to Siggy has been sent. Bauk says, please explain Witless's azimuthal grid of vision. It's just words to fool his gullible followers. It's completely nonsensical. There's no explanation for what it is. It's just, here's the problem. Here's the problem for flat Earth. Here's reality. And in the middle, he just puts azimuthal grid of vision. And people that are easily swayed by nonsense go, ooh, that sounds smart. And that's it. That's all they got. We got Alyssum, laughed at investigative journalist. Jonathan Elsa's tune. After so many years, why can't they challenge the idea that you can't get to the edge? Why not press it more? That's a good question, Jonathan L. They hide behind a lie, and the lie is that they claim that Siggy's on his way in just a second. They claim that they cannot go to the edge because the military forbids it, which is an absolute lie. The Antarctic Treaty says that other participants in the treaty are not able to prevent you from going at all. And you need to, when you go, you need to tell the other participants that you're going and your purpose. It's so that everybody knows what everybody is doing. It's not secrecy. It's the opposite. It's openness. They're requiring openness. So if flat earthers, if you want to go, you can go. There's a process to it, but you can go. Apply. If you think that they won't let you, then go ahead and support your claim. All right, Siggy, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Well, I just realized my daughter is just coming for dinner right now, so this is gonna be
All right.
the shortest period of a fake flat earther on the channel.
Well, Siggy, it's good to talk to you. Thank you very much for all the super chats and the gifted memberships. But yeah, if you wanna play
And my pleasure.
the part of Cletus, do go ahead.
I gotta go, but thank you very much for sending the link.
All right. Thanks, Siggy.
See you guys later. Bye bye.
Bye. That was quick. All right. Well, you let's see, who is it? JB. JB, I just checked my email. I don't have an email from you, JB. Or the other one. Who was the other one? Matthew Pip. Same thing, Matthew Pip. You're send me an email, mctoon@mctoon.net. So yeah, anyway, back to the Antarctic Treaty. They absolutely can go. Never has a flat earther actually put in an application to go and then gotten rejected for it. Now, it's cold. It's desolate. It's a long way to get anywhere. So it's going to be difficult and it's going to cost money. But you can do it. Go ahead. If you think that you will be rejected, go ahead and submit the application anyway. So an application, each member country says, well, we don't want people going if they're not equipped to go. They'll just get in trouble, and then we'll have to go save their stupid butts. Now, if only there was a way that flat earthers could go there and not get permission from the country. Oh, you can't just get on a boat. But you probably will die. It's it's cold. It's desolate. It's quite horrible to be there. But you go right ahead. Go right ahead. Oh, Jonathan L. says, Toon, I live in Melbourne, Australia. I will take the flat earther to the edge on my boat. Yes. Definitely. Definitely go. All right, hold on. I missed a few. Let me make sure. Cygnus TSP is a new member at noon. Thank you. Many Karen says, how did you determine this pilot doesn't go very? Did you apply a urine test? Doesn't go very. Doesn't go. So, yeah, did I interrupt myself mid-sentence while I was talking about him? So is it Quentin? Is it Quentin? Darn it. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up right now. Anyway, yeah, he's an instructor, which is troubling to me, but he's just a short distance, is all that he can fly. He's not doing long distance. He doesn't have a multi-engine certification. It would be quite difficult for him to get a multi-engine certification because he will need to pass the test. Now, there may be, he probably would have problems with the medical portion of the test, but if that were not a problem, he would have to do the other portions of the test, which I imagine will be a problem for him because it requires the Earth to be a globe, to my understanding. I don't know the details of what's in the test, but it's my understanding that you need to show some competence in understanding things about the globe. So certainly somebody like Wolfie or some of the other pilots on here that are multi-engine certified could speak to that. Let's see if he's no response yet from Lotan and no email from JB. Connell Silver first says hashtag gotta lie to Flerf. Let's see. PhD Tony says again, I will pay you to not have a Flerf on. Looking like that's going to be the case, though, at 8 o'clock in an hour and 15 minutes. It will be Chris Van Am on TikTok. On TikTok. Will he know what time it is? I don't know. He has a hard time understanding that he's in the Eastern Daylight time zone and not the Eastern Standard time zone. He's unaware that daylight savings time shifted 2 weeks ago. I told him this. I sent him links. I sent screenshots. He insisted he's still in Eastern Standard Time. I said, what time is it? He told me what time. I'm like, okay, he's an hour behind me. 8 o'clock for me is 9 o'clock for him. I think we have it understood, but we shall see. The guy last week still had a problem. Another TikTok flurf. Anyway, Magnus Bernhardson. Now that's an awesome name. Has a super chat for 10 Nokias or Norwegian kroners. Thank you for that, Magnus. No message, but thank you for the super chat. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Wonderful saying. Terrible way to find out if you're adopted. Oh my gosh. The Logical Red says, are you telling me Witsit is a liar? Oh, never. Indeed. And if you're curious about the final stream I have listed tonight, it is just exploring some of Witsit's citations. That's all it is. Just going over his citations. It's a new discovery that I found today or yesterday. I think it was today. It's outrageous. It's amazing. For those that are particularly industrious, you can find it on my website right now if you know what to search for. Lord Luminous Pooh says every 52 seconds someone in New York gets stabbed. Poor guy. It's a little dark. But yeah, every 52 seconds. Same guy, right? Caucasian Sensation says, Lotan, loser of the almighty nincompoops. Indeed. Lael says, you are and always have been afraid to debate me, the king of the Flerfs. Lael. No. Lael's not a Flerf. But I don't know why he declares himself to be king of the Flerfs. And the Snark says, hi, say hi to the ID10Ts. That has been... Oh dear, real Cygnus. Gotta read that one out. The video I did that came out yesterday on Conspiracy Tunes, that's been a lot of fun in the chat, typing ID10T in the comment section. If you haven't seen it, it's near the end and it's on purpose where I mentioned that. So Real Cygnus says, Austin released an official time frame of only 2 more years till the Earth finally gets chanted flat. Or claimed flat? Seriously. Finally. Oh, Justin, you cheater. Justin Franks found it. Of course, it's not hard to find. So, 2 years. So here's finally a time frame. Finally, where did he do that? I want to find that, because in 2 years, when it doesn't happen, I want to call him on it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, flat earthers have been saying for years that it's right at the cusp. We're right at the cusp of everybody figuring out and the landslide happening. But still, it's just a minority of the dumbest people in the world. Wow, you guys. And today, just like today and yesterday, I've seen people chanting this, all parroting the same thing. So some Flerf said this and all the others are parroting it, that more people are there are new flat earthers every day. Yes, there are a lot of dumb people. Nobody should be surprised to find out that there are dumb people. But then they go and they make the mistake of claiming that there are less people that think the Earth is a globe. Well, that would require them to show that the actual numbers, right? And numbers in math is a little difficult for the flatties, but the numbers being, you'd need to take the birth rate, and you'd need to compare the birth rate to the number of new flatties every day. And I don't think you're going to find that it works in your favor, flatties. Now, maybe you want to, instead of the birth rate, you want to do something like the number of people crossing a certain age boundary that would be where they're independent of just repeating what their parents said. Maybe say 18. So the people turning 18 today rate. Whatever, it doesn't matter. that number is going to be significantly higher than the number of people falling for the flat earth lie in a day. So, still no email from JB. Jonathan L says, 1 day of playing Kerbal Space Program should end the debate. Great game. It is a fun game. I played it a while ago when it was pretty new, and yes, really cool stuff. And duplicating things and making rockets is super easy to do. A little harder than in real life. It's amazing how you can make ridiculously expensive things just like that. BT Tony says, as for tsunamis not going around Antarctica, the South Sandwich Island tsunami, the tsunami I showed on my presentation, did go around Antarctica. Interesting. A good claim. Good information there, Tony. See, the thing is, Whitsit's claim needs to be the case 100% of the time. One time of the tsunami going around Antarctica falsifies his claim. So it's a tenuous position to put himself in. So, and apparently, I should look into it, Tony and myself, that would falsify it. So then Whitsit gets falsified. And it's like he's the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. He gets his arm cut off, and he doesn't notice it. He gets his legs cut off, and he doesn't notice it. He just comes back again and makes the same stupid claim again without noticing it. His stuff about relativity, completely rubbish. All it did is show that he doesn't understand relativity. It did not debunk relativity or the motion of the Earth. All that he did was cherry pick quotes from this book, not understanding them. And that's it. And then his gullible followers parrot the same nonsense. So, Jiffy Cones, I went to Africa last week and went hunting. I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How it got in my pajamas, I'll never know. Jonathan Nelson, I wish you were my homeschool dad. Lots of love. Well, one of my kids was having a problem today, and I got a little. You wouldn't have liked it on that today, but anyway. Steve6464 says, what would happen if Whitsit was on a debate with the moderator knew all the fallacies and understood them? Where the moderator? Well, yeah, and if the moderator would interject for fallacy usage, yeah, every time Whitsit does a debate, he likes to go over the fallacies that he plans to use in that debate, and he certainly did a good job predicting all of the fallacies that he was going to use in that debate. The all or nothing fallacy is one he's been really relying on a lot lately. I found one tiny little thing that I don't quite understand, and it shows that the frontiers of science are imperfect, which we know. Therefore, Earth flat. Hold on a second. How does your model, that doesn't exist, how does your model explain it more better? Yes, I know that grammar's wrong. By your own standard, your model must do a better job of explaining it than our model. But it doesn't. You don't have one. You've said you don't have a model. So it doesn't actually help you to be that specific, that it must be perfect. You didn't get it yourself. Tony says, try Googling circum-Antarctic tsunami. Ooh, very good. Austin, maybe you want to try that. Jonathan L. said, would kidnapping /a FE settle kidnapping a Flerf? No, I cannot condone kidnapping a Flerf. Connell Silverfur says, Austin Twitsit doesn't know the difference between orbit and rotation, but he wants to lecture us on relativity. He is the ultimate in used car salesman. Indeed. So Joe Black is asking, did JB send an email? JB did not send an email. I don't know. Still nothing. So, okay. I have some more on Mr. Cletus there. Let's get this here. So yeah, all right, go back to this. Link is still sitting there waiting for him. But let me get a few more things. Let's see. So we did cover that he thinks that he's, I think that he's a flat earther. Now, maybe could he be a concaver? I don't think so, because he talks about flight and he thinks that pilots would have to dip their nose because he doesn't understand the physics of it. So I'll show you this here. So he's an expert in unicorn hunting. What he does, he's like, you must find this one thing, and if you can't find this one thing, then haha, you have nothing. Therefore Earth flat, or therefore globe debunked. Says, I'm flattered, but simple Frederic will do. I think you're seeing satellites in orbit. You say you think you're seeing satellites in orbit. Shouldn't be hard to present evidence of that. Oh wait, well, did you not know that Jaron, good old Jaron, he got video of the ISS going in front of the moon. The video is on my channel. Oh no, I took it down at Jaron's request. I should do a modified version of it. But that is still out there to be found. A flat earther found it. Now you could do it yourself. If you don't believe me, you could just go to the ISS tracker, get a nearby ISS transit of the moon and go test it yourself. But many people have done it. There's no shortage of videos of people that have gotten transits of the ISS. So yes, the ISS transits the moon. So what is it? Well, it is, when it's in front of the moon or the sun, it's a shadow. You cannot project a shadow, so it's not a projection. You can, as Red's Rhetoric did, it's on his channel, Red's Rhetoric, twice measured the elevation of the ISS using parallax. That's where two people at two different locations view it at the same time. And then based on the offset between them, you can actually get the distance that they are away from the observers. And wouldn't you know, it's more than 400 kilometers up. So it exists in that it goes in front of the moon and the sun, and it's a dark shadow. You can also see light of it. So when it's in the sun, you can see it. So you get both. You can see the physical object having light shining on it. You can see the physical object obscuring the moon or sun. So we know that there's something there. You can't project a shadow. Its height has been measured. You can do it yourself if you disbelieve it, to be more than 400 kilometers high. So there's that little bit of a problem for you, but there is a little more. Maybe I'll show you this. There was, let's see, there was a group of people that shined blue lasers, high-powered blue lasers, on the at the ISS, and they coordinated with them. Did I? Oh, darn it! I don't have it ready. Well, I'll leave it there just with a description. There's a group of people that shined a light on the ISS from the ground, and they coordinated with somebody in the ISS, Chris Hatfield, and he took pictures of the ground when they were shining the light, and got pictures of the blue light from the ground. There's yet another line of evidence. If you can't accept that, which makes you look ridiculous, right? When there's multiple lines of evidence and you just hand wave reject them, it makes you look bad. It doesn't refute it, right? People have received audio from it in the form of radio waves. So you can get yourself a ham radio with a directional antenna pointed up where it is, and listen to conversations and potentially even try to hop in on the conversations. How else do we know that satellites exist? Well, we can see videos of rockets launching and see then at some point later that people can communicate with them, like the rocket that SpaceX did several years ago that they launched for the country of Bangladesh. So the country of Bangladesh contracted with somebody to build this satellite and then contracted with SpaceX to launch the satellite. People got video of the satellite being launched on the rocket. And then at some point later in time, the good people of Bangladesh were able to point their dishes, their satellite dishes, to a certain spot in the sky and receive a broadcast from them. If they get that dish slightly off to the side, they get no signal. So how does that work? They receive an actual signal from it. Is the country of Bangladesh somehow faking it somehow? Or were they faked? And if they were faked, how were they faked? They are in communication with what they think is a satellite. How is that the case? How are they doing that? You're going to need to support that with evidence. But for now, the people of Bangladesh can watch satellite TV, and your denial doesn't stop it. Your denial does not stop it. Let's see. All right, a couple more here. Oh, this one's amazing. So here he is. He demanded evidence that the Earth is a globe. And so what do? I'm happy to oblige. I gave him a link to my website, mctoon.net/burden. I'll show you what that looks like. It's my collection of actually just links to other pages that you may be familiar with. You've got radius of the Earth, you've got the curve, you've got gravity, you've got things about the sun. So just links to these other pages here. The measurements of the radius of the Earth, 6 of them there. You've got the curve of the Earth visualized and measured. So a whole bunch of them, including from the main surveyor, from Robin from New Zealand. We've got the photographs of the left to right curve right here. Look at that. From Kip Dargertis. So you can see the curve. Do you want to see it? You can see it. Do you want it measured? It's measured. Here's measurements of it. So which one do you want? Visual or measurements? You can have your pick. It's a smorgasbord of evidence for you. Measurements of gravity. There you go. 18 of them. And then what do we know about the sun? Well, we can bounce radar off of it. It takes a certain amount of time to come back. And that tells us how far away it is. Now, what did he say to that? Well, he didn't click on it. He demanded evidence. I gave him evidence, and he won't look at it. What is that? That is a coward. Lotan, you demand evidence. I gave you evidence. You didn't look. It's on you. You are obviously a fraud. He says, I won't give you free clicks. I pay money to have that webpage up. I don't get money from that webpage. Right? So if you want to take money from me, go to that webpage. I pay WordPress to host it. It's a fixed rate, so I don't actually pay more if you go. He says, I called you out many times, but you can't seem to present any real evidence. It's right there. Fraud. Absolute fraud. You tried once with predictions and failed miserably. What predictions? I'll be watching and waiting. Called out your BS every time you make a fart for an idea. You didn't look. So here it is. I called it. You asked for evidence. It's given and you refuse to look. And that right there, people, that shows the utter desperation of Cletus Lotan, Frederic Michael, the flat earther. He won't even look at evidence. You don't refute evidence by not looking. You show your desperation by not looking. So this is another one here. Okay, so he refuses to debate me because he demands to be paid. And this is his explanation. I'll read it to you. He says, I propose we set aside the antagonism and make this the best production with this subject has ever had. It can't be. He's one of the worst flat earthers out there. We should work together to make this the most interesting view as possible with the least amount of wasted time. I'm all for that, but he's not. If you've explored this subject, then all your questions should be eventually come up somewhere along the line. No need to be repetitive. I'd also like for you to explore all options so as to answer every possible query and every argument. For that, we will need to be efficient. I privilege a non-edited presentation, which is what I do every week here. We can make this debate the best of its kind. His ego is stupendous. Historically, it should be the go-to guide for the shape of the earth debate. Can you see how big his ego is? Now, I've looked at your channel. You've got the subs, but your vids average 50 to 10,000. You're right, views. You're worried. I'm going to cut into half of your $200 to $300. You're thinking small. Just for reference, I don't get $200 to $300 for 10,000 views. That's greatly overstated. I don't know why he thinks I get that. Part of it is I don't put a ton of ads in. YouTube sometimes automatically puts ads in. I typically come back, wipe them all, and put in typically every 20 minutes, which doesn't account to a whole lot, actually. So I don't get $200 to $300 for 10,000 views. So he says, I was shut down on Facebook, YouTube, and Google. He was not for Flat Earth, though. I'm in the process of rebuilding a new electronic identity. I presently operate on contracts such as the one I proposed. Now, by the way, this was in November, which, considering your numbers, I deem more than fair. Here's the proposal. You can pass up the 50 for 50 proposal, but if the debate passes 10,000 viewer mark, it will be clear that I and/or my material are the difference compared to your regular programming. Let me say this, Cletus. When I talk to you, you're Flerf 101. You're not even Flerf 101. You talk as if it's first day of Flerf Club. Seriously, your stuff is terrible. Let me give you an example of the ridiculousness of his Flerf Club. There it is. Lotan says, what's your biggest argument for moon landing hoax, right? He says, Nixon talking to Apollo 11 on a land phone with a picture taken from the moon in the background. Take your time. So you see, Lotan, Cletus, if you had been around for more than one day, you would know that that photograph is from Apollo 8, not from Apollo 11. First day of Flerf Club. Seriously, you absolute moron. First day of Flerf Club. Here's another one. The moon in the clouds claim. Here it is. So this is to Esteban Ilabaca. It says, and I'll show you a zoom in of that photograph here. Explain this local light source, he says, and I'll put it in here. Here is the actual photograph, so you can see it a little better. And the explanation is pretty simple. It's called me scattering. Me scattering. And I'll show you a diagram in a second. But the point is that, and I can demonstrate it right now, hopefully. So here I have, I'll do it full screen here. Here I have a piece of paper, and I'm showing you the front of this so you have as a reference. Okay, and I'm going to try to keep it, let's see, it's a little too close. All right, this isn't going to work too well, probably. Let's see, and then you don't have, all right, that's not going to work. I can't do it on the fly here. All right, me scattering. The thing is that you could do it with a piece of paper and a like a laser light source yourself, but the light on here is a bit different. So the light coming through the clouds or the paper is me scattered. But most Mie scattering, M-I-E, is still directional. And I can show you a diagram in a second here. And so you are seeing the moon there and just the areas around it illuminated, because as the light comes around, hits the thin clouds, most of that light stays going the same direction, and smaller amounts of it are blocked other directions. And here it is on hyperphysics. Well, let me show you. There it is. A picture of Mie scattering there. You see, you got the light source on the left. You've got, it's showing the difference between Rayleigh scattering and Mie scattering. So you see the bottommost diagram there of Mie scattering is showing that the light is coming towards the observer. And then at the top there, you have different Mie scattering up, and that observer isn't seeing it. But this is why it's such idiocy. He is suggesting that the moon is actually in the clouds. Well, if the moon was actually in the clouds, it could not be any more than 6 miles high. And this photograph could not have been taken from very far away from the GP of the moon. GP being the ground position, the point directly underneath the moon. If the moon is 6 miles high, and the moon follows about the, around the equator with variations, let's just approximate it. It would have to travel about 1,000 miles an hour. The GP of the moon travels about 1,000 miles an hour. If it's 6 miles up, there's plenty of air 6 miles up for the moon to have some air resistance and to be constantly creating vortexes and traveling faster than the speed of sound. We don't see that. That is a ridiculous thing. You would not actually see the moon looking like this. It would not be standing still. You could only be a few miles from it. If the moon was 45 degrees in angular elevation, that means you would be no more than 6 miles away from the GP of the moon. We would not see the moon in Minnesota at all. It would be, we're 3,000 miles away from the GP of the moon, and it's only 6 miles up. What angle would it appear in the sky? Never very high in the sky. But the people near where the moon would experience something quite dramatic, as whatever size you think the moon is traveling through the clouds at that rather fast rate of speed. You'd hear the sonic booms. You would see the evidence of it going quickly through the clouds, and you would definitely not see it appearing still, because in order for it to be at any reasonable elevation, you have to be really close to it, so it's going to travel fast. That's how stupid you are, Lotan. That's how incredibly dumb you are to think that the moon is in the clouds, or the sun, same thing if the sun is in the clouds. How incredibly stupid can you be? It's so mind-numbingly dumb. All right. There it is. All right. That is all right. I have completed the what I have for of screenshots of Lotan, because I knew he would not show up. So let me see. All right, do a poll. Who is smarter, Whitsitt or the pig with Cletus? All right. Who is smarter, Whitsitt or the pig with Cletus? Here we go. Poll has been sent. There it is. Vote your true heart, please. All right. Here we go. Yeah, Uber Pete says, is DMOC still a thing? I think he is. I don't think he stopped existing. In fact, when Craig had a little heart issue a while ago, DMOC actually contacted me asking to send Craig a message. And it was actually like DMOC is a human. I didn't know. It was like he cared about Craig's actual well-being. So good on DMOC for that. But I don't know. Oh, let me see here. Nope. Okay. We've got Darren DeBaron says, forget flat Earth. Hashtag Craig Earth. Hashtag FTFE. Love you too, Tune. Thank you very much, Darren DeBaron. I love that. That's a great name. Darren DeBaron. Jonathan Else's Tune. Do you believe in alien life? That's a super good question. It certainly is possible. I have not seen to anything that suggests to me that they actually exist. If an alien civilization is powerful enough and smart enough and able to build traveling devices to get here, then they certainly did not accidentally crash land into the Earth, and they certainly would not only pick up Cletuses from rural Smoky Mountain hillbilly land, bring them up, probe them, and then put them back. That's none of that makes sense. And surprisingly, as soon as everybody started carrying a phone around with them, a camera around with them, sightings of UFOs have taken a dip. Right? It's no longer I done seen a UFO and they done probed me. You just take a picture, right? The first question is, why did you take a picture with your phone? Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so Saturday Night Live has some really good sketches of this one redneck lady that keeps getting put in some rather ungood circumstances, and one of them is being probed by aliens. Go ahead and watch that one. It's very funny. But yes, so do I yeah, I think it's possible. I think Fermi's paradox is appropriate. At this point, we have not seen evidence of alien civilization. Civilizations have, at least it seems that there has been a time for previous civilizations to have built up, and that we should see evidence of it, and we don't. At least we haven't yet. So there's that little bit of a problem. Or is it just that much of an absolute impracticability? Is it that improbability that sentient life happens, that we are the first, or we're near enough to the beginning of it that there aren't other civilizations that have built up the technology enough for us to see them? I don't know. I think that's an interesting question, but no, I don't think that there's any evidence of it. Most of the time when you see things that people claim are UFOs, they tend to eventually be identified as not alien. So Skidmark McGee says Witless for top left, he sucks, the big one. All right. Just a messenger says do a poll, who's smarter, Witsit with pig? There it is. Oh dear, that the poll is decisive. I'll close it out in a little bit here. Industrial Nerd says that's what many Karen said. Okay. Jonathan Else, is Artemis all there is? Will we go back to the moon? Is Artemis all there is? No, they are not the only people. NASA is not the only organization working to get people on the moon. It's my understanding that China is working on it, and we know that SpaceX is working on it. SpaceX's larger goal is, of course, to get to Mars. SpaceX is working with NASA on it, so SpaceX will be part of what lands on the moon. I don't know how that's going to work, actually, but apparently has something that they're involved. Um, apart from NASA, if I were to think about who's going to land and have people on the moon first, I'd say SpaceX is probably closer to that than NASA. NASA is a government agency. They work really slow. Everything they do is slow. Everything they do is inefficient. That's the thing about governments. That's when people are like, oh, the government is doing all this to hide the shape of the earth. Government is super bad at everything they do almost, right? They're just not really efficient at things. Super sloppy. And the government can't keep secrets. The things that the government that have come out that the government tried to keep secret, we're like, oh yeah, well, you didn't keep that secret, did you? And they don't last that long. To that point, I would say that probably there's a good chance that SpaceX would get there first. I don't know how aggressively like they're trying to land independent of NASA. That's the reason why, like, if they're working with NASA, that'll probably slow SpaceX getting there. If they were like, all right, we're not going to work with NASA, we're just going to go on our own, then I think that SpaceX would get there on their own quicker. Somebody asked, where's Lotan? Yeah, he's scared. He's scared. NA says, is ham radio kosher? Can you buy a ham radio in Israel? It's a good question. Can you have a kosher ham radio? Pat the chat says Flerfistry. Noun, a flerf using fallacies incorrectly. Also see Witsitism. People are getting funny. Jonathan L, $1 Australian super chat with no message. Thank you for that. Jonathan. Tim Tully says for $5 says, I had a toe removed and replaced it with a breath mint. I now have a tic-tac-toe. See yourself out. Skidmark McGee says, 'tis but a flesh wound. And that's it. All of his gravity stuff, all of Witsit's gravity stuff was totally demolished. It was so thoroughly demolished. And tonight I'm going to cover a few of them. That I can't believe that he came back after that. Like, it didn't work for you, Witsit. Your ideas about gravity fail. And he keeps putting things up that don't work, that disagree with him, but he doesn't realize it. The Sun Express says, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Make a Flerf explain why the recorded solar eclipse tracks are incompatible with Flatardia. Yes, so I've had the 1 year success with the Celestial Navigation Challenge. I need to finish writing up the Cold Moonlight Challenge, and then probably I'm going to do the same thing with eclipses, because there's a year from April is that eclipse going across America, and I really want to give them a chance to earn that $10,000. No doubt they won't, but and it's essentially, show how flat Earth can be used to predict the path of an eclipse in an accurate manner. I won't require them to be as accurate as the globe, right? The globe is accurate years out. Flat Earth, of course, has no predictive capability at all. But I'm going to pretend as if they think they can. Right? And so they just need to show within some wider margin where and when. Like to the minute, to the hour, show on a map where it's going to go. I don't know. Something to that effect. Because you can, with just cyclical patterns, you can identify the day. But that has nothing to do with the geometry of the planet we live on. It's just a repeating pattern that has been identified. And the Antikythera mechanism is based on a similar concept. It's identified a few more patterns, but it does nothing to give you the time or the location specifically that it will be going. So the specific location, right? Not like, I've looked at what the Antikythera mechanism can do, and it's better than Saros cycles. but it's not nearly as good as this book does. Right? Right. This book shows on a map where it's going to be. So Joe Black says, did I check my email? I did. Oh, JB, dude, I have half an hour until the next JB. Let me see. Okay. All right. I got your email. Okay. Let's see. Anyway, yes, I'll respond. I can't now. Sorry, I have to wrap up in just a little bit here. I got J. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'll do that. I have the debate I have coming up is on TikTok. I need to prep things because doing it on TikTok, I have to set things up a little more. It's a little more complicated to do the setup. So I'm trying to join the Discord conversation, but it won't allow me in. So Discord links expire, even though they are labeled as non-expiring. So could somebody grab a Discord link to my Discord server and just pop it in the chat here quick? So, did I get, okay. So Siggy Sigwald says, Toon, did you see the modern day debate, Nathan Thompson and Brian versus Rufef and Bacon? Nathan's mental health is steadily declining. It was funny the first 30 minutes and then sad, then concerning. Yes. Nathan Thompson, and I've seen it happen. Like, this is common. Flat earthers go through phases, right? They come in and they parrot all the Dubé claims, and right, the first day of Flerf school, Flerf camp claims, or horizon doesn't rise to eye level, or what does rise to eye level? Like, no, it doesn't. Polaris never move. Well, here it is. Actually, Nathan claimed that Polaris never moves. It's like he's impervious to identifying that people have completely demolished these things. He never pays attention to anything that he should. He definitely should, but he doesn't. But then they're like, their religion goes a little weird, right? They're like, oh God, Jesus, Christian, and then they get into these weird offshoots of it, and eventually they wind up like into some other weird religious version of flat earthism that's not really anything similar to where they started. That's one direction they go. They tend to start embracing all sorts of other things. Of course, flat earth is one of the most ridiculous, but Tartaria is ridiculous. Free energy is ridiculous. Things like that they get into. Not understanding 5G, it's the same thing. So, all right, thank you for putting in Zoomy, Justin Franks, for the Discord link. Mandels, Nathan is possessed by the dibble. Oh yeah, drinking their wee-wee. Drinking your wee-wee is not going to make you healthy. Don't do it. Don't do it. So, let's see. Sleet says, I own the machine tools deceased estate used by Alan Bromley to recreate the Antikythera in Australia. Just dumb luck on my part. What? Is that the guy that recreated that? Is Alan Bromley? Yeah. I've watched several of the videos, and I don't recall the name now for sure, of somebody recreating the Antikythera mechanism, and it was really cool. And he's deceased now? Okay. That's sad. So it's really cool, Sleet. I would love if you do have that, I would love to get more information on it.
Are you almost done?
Yes.
I need to cut you.
Okay. All right. Well, it is obvious that Lotan / Frederic Michael / Cletus is not does not have the courage to face me. So no surprise. All right. Sleet says yes. All right. Well, that's really cool. Really cool information. Yes, that was Mrs. Toon. We have she's She's wondering if I'm done soon because I do have in half an hour, I have another debate with Chris Van Am. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap it up here. And I do have a few things to prepare for the next one. So people, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming along and joining as I enjoy outing Lotan / Frederic Michael and how completely scared he is to face me. There is on my website I didn't cover it, but go find it yourself. The Cowards Debate Defense. Maybe somebody wants to put that in the chat here. Lotan chose number 6. It's a list I wrote up just one day off the top of my head. The different things, the different reasons and excuses that different flat earthers have used to avoid debating the topic. They come in talking all big and then they run away. So I have zero respect for people like that. But Lotan, Frederic Michael, you're a coward. We all saw it. You got exposed. So you never get again to claim that I'm scared to debate you. You did not show. Everybody, thank you for coming along. Thank you for the super chats, for the members. Siggy, thank you very much for gifting those memberships. And I'll see you in about half an hour to talk with Chris Van Am, who does not know that snow is ice.